So yeah, the only remaining secretary / office romance thread is Susan Ford here. So we have to track her down. And then we also have to figure out what's going on with Mark, because he had kids with Colleen. And then this whole Elias situation, which again, this was quite a long time ago, so information might be sparse. So let's see if we can find anything. I think I already looked up Susan Ford on the internet. Yes, it gave us nothing. Is there anything locally maybe? Okay, so on the same page as we have mention of Susan Ford, we also have this very large donation, like $250,000. So let's see where this leads. The Grandorf School for the Deaf, formerly Grandorf Dove, is located about an hour from where the Roottree offices used to be in Butler County, but it serves much of that part of Pennsylvania and nearby Ohio. According to their website, it was formerly named Grandorf Dove because Grandorf was the last name of the founder and Dove is the Danish word for deaf. The founder had issues with the government translators, leading to an odd transcription issue. In 1990, it was renamed to better represent the school's purpose and to correct the embarrassing lack of effort and awareness demonstrated by the government official in the early days. The staff is listed on the website. You scan through all of the biographies and find the principal, Mrs. Ford. It's the one in 5 languages, including ASL. So yes, that tracks with she was hired as an interpreter while they were doing international expansion. She's been working at the school for over 15 years. Mrs. Ford's bio also mentions she's not deaf herself, but rather learned sign language to communicate with the deaf. It mentions she was responsible for securing funding for the Hudson Wing. Yeah, and how did she secure this funding? You may wonder. Is there anything else if we look this up? No, that's just the same page. Okay, so about this Hudson Wing then. So it was expansions of the school, first built in 1982, so just after Guy died, but obviously she got the money slightly earlier on, the year before. It's a separate, much smaller building half a block from the main campus and operates as a smaller independent school that offers free ASL courses for the family members, friends and caretakers of deaf children. According to their history site, they got their name after the president of Roottree Company generously donated $250,000 towards the construction of the building. Again, he was such a generous guy that just gave money to charity all the time, right? There's nothing suspicious about this. There's also a very vague history section that you can somewhat fill in with details from the other information you've seen about the school. It mentions that the donation came at the insistence of an employee of Roottree at the time. It mentions that she learned ASL from the main school before the Hudson Wing even existed to surprise her future husband, who was deaf. After realizing how useful a service like this could be to non-deaf people that wish to better serve those with hearing issues, she convinced Roottree management to invest in the school. The Hudson Wing opened and she became the first teacher at the new campus. At first, it only operated on weekends, but since then it has added afternoon classes on some weekdays. Okay, so she got married to someone who was deaf and that's why she was connected to the school. So therefore she's the principal now. So her occupation now is principal. So that puts us at 2 potential. Can we find out? I guess if this is a local school. So there's potentially more about them in the local press. Yeah, we go printing. They made a few odd appearances here in Butler County Times. Not too many that you can't look at all of them, so after scoring for a few pages you managed to find something incredibly useful in an article that isn't even focused on the school itself. Local students provide key evidence in scientific study. The article from March this year, 1999, mentions that the Ford sisters who attend public school in are one of only a handful of identical twins in the world who suffer from 2 different genetic issues. One of them has asthma and the other one has a deadly peanut allergy. Their mother, Miss Susie Ford, who is principal at the nearby Grandorf School for the Deaf, was originally contacted by our researchers looking to identify if there were any sets of twins where one was born deaf and the other was not. While she didn't have any twins attending the school, she asked if her daughters, Melissa and Heather, could be useful, and it turns out they were. She says they couldn't be more different. My youngest, we call her that even though it's only about 15 minutes, is shy, but essentially hasn't stopped running from the moment she learned to scamper. Asthma has kept her sister off the soccer field, but she's the definition of extrovert and is even performing in a local production of Is There Life After High School later this year. There's a picture of the girls. Okay, so even though they're twins, they're still in order. And we have this local production of Life After High School. So is that in the press? Cast mentioned Heather Ford. Okay, so Heather will be the extrovert doing plays and stuff like that. Okay, so we have a picture. Helpfully, they stand with their associated equipment so we can tell that one of them has asthma and one of them has an allergy, and she's carrying an EpiPen. So based on that, we can fill... We don't have the... I would like to get the spouse before I fully fill them in, because obviously they don't count the lock-ins, so then they don't get locked in if I don't have them down. I guess we just redo the same things in the local search to see if they're there. Okay, so Gardner was a school for the deaf. Amongst the avalanche of user information, you almost miraculously discover one useful article. Grandorf Dove was at the center of a crime article from 1982. It seems that someone defaced the school and vehicles outside of the brand new Hudson wing of the school. There were multiple broken windows, and one of the teachers' cars was painted with profanities and accusations of infidelity. A few weeks later, a follow-up article provided more details. There was one arrest, Thomas Hughes, who was coincidentally a former student at the school. Apparently, the distraction came weeks after he married the school's newest teacher, Mrs. Hughes. She was not a teacher when he went. He graduated a few years earlier. Just to clear that up. According to the reporter's investigation into the police reports, trials and restraining orders, Mr. Hughes was convinced that he was not the father of Mrs. Hughes' current pregnancy. He was released on bail, and the school has agreed not to press criminal charges after an agreement was made to pay for the damages and for the couple to begin the divorce proceedings. Okay. So that gives us the name for him. And then we can also work out the kids. So the younger is the runner, and the older is the extrovert in the play, and the older is Heather Ford is the name. And she's still a student, like the play is just something she's doing, and she has asthma, so she's the one with the inhaler. So then Melissa is the one with the EpiPen, and she's also a student in high school. No? Okay. Oh, we didn't put anything for Min, who's a college student. There we go. Okay, we're getting another visit.
Hey there, it's us. So I just have to say, the work you're doing here is fantastic.
So fantastic, in fact.
There goes Clark. Always the bad cop. Go ahead.
Well, our law firm, Ruby Legal Enterprises, is having trouble keeping up. They're actually begging us to stop submitting new root trees. They said it's getting difficult to verify your progress.
Get good. Clearly, I can you do my research so fast, you can also do your research so fast.
Well, consider that a good thing. I told Clark you'd get results.
She says that like I didn't believe her. Regardless, the bad news is it's going to take 5 potential tree additions before anyone locks in from now on.
Just harder and harder.
Good luck.
And keep up the good work.
Okay, so we need a 5. And the next checking is at 30. So they're basically saying, do the rest of it. We're not helping anymore. They didn't bring me anything again. Well, we don't need this anymore because we've dealt with them. Which means, yeah, we have completed the Guy Hudson situation. And she has an alternative picture. So that's her. Oh yeah, because it said that she was part of the international travelers. He was taking her on the travels. She was his mistress. But at the same time, he was gaining new mistresses at the same time, wherever he went. Like, he just... Yep. No breaks. No breaks on the man. Okay. Well, we need to sort out this situation. There is nothing about this lady. Like, she appears in the company records and we suspect it's her because of the, random utterance from Gwyneth that says, "Who's Beth?" And that there was a secretary. So it's just our suspicion here. But this seems at least more possible because there were mentions of them. We just have to, I guess, research the names in like all the sources we have available to us. This is new. Picotet magazine is kind of sleazy, so they're not afraid to publish few details the more reputable news publication normally wouldn't. You look up the Billy Sims incident, and it seems they did report on it. Billy Sims was once arrested for throwing a Molotov cocktail at a company that was found to be testing their products on animals. Okay, so the guy who punched Crocodile is not a stranger to getting in trouble. According to police paperwork, Crocodile and Clementine's bail was paid for by Tostarito Jacobson. It was fairly expensive. Picotet interviewed other students that were at the event to find out if anyone knew anything, and the word going around was that Mark Clementine showed up because his daughter Mary was graduating that night. Okay, so they go by their mother's name, Webb. Okay, let's look up this Tostarito Jacobson first. Fuego's Fiesta, original Mexican fast food chain, held a competition in 1983 that offered free meals for life to anyone who legally changed their name to Tostarito. The Tostarito was a burrito with a cylindrical tostada shell inside the flour tortilla. According to a few different sources, Tostarito Jacobson used to be named Lucinda. Okay. You must be really desperate for some Mexican food if you're gonna change your whole name. Well, we've learned our lesson that we should be looking up people in the local things. This page hasn't been updated for 8 months and now it might be irrelevant. We were supposed to find this person in the original game? I don't remember the name appearing. There's a Crime Blogger article about Edith Jacobson. Oh, yeah, she's one of the... Yeah, this one. This one links back to Roottree getting in trouble, Miracle Jr. for pretending he cured someone in a wheelchair, but it was his wife's sister, so that's them. Okay, so the sister then went and hung out with the other family criminal then. I guess that they're of the Miracle line here as well. Yeah, so they're all that's all connected then. Yeah, but I didn't see this originally. In 1971, when she was 18, Edith and her sister Lucinda were arrested for trespassing at the Miracle Congregation Church in Butler County. They were pretending to be church employees in an attempt to get in the room where the church houses their weekly tidings. Their church didn't press charges. They were caught by Helen Roottree, who was there at the time while her husband Miracle was away preaching. Helen Roottree was quoted as saying, "Jesus forgives, and so do we. The Lord works in mysterious ways, and I'm confident he has brought these 2 young women to us for greater purpose." Yes, marrying one off to your son and then just doing fraud and other crimes together. They really seized on that opportunity. Well, that's just some information I missed. But it doesn't help us. But instead we want to look up this daughter Mary, and she goes by Webb, even though she will be called Clementine. Yep. OMG ghosts! A Mary Webb in San Diego. It's San Diego again. I do wonder if there's like a local press for San Diego we're supposed to find. As a website called Webb on the Web. Apparently it's a personal travel diary that also doubles as an advertisement for her travel agency. There are descriptions of Mary's services, including booking flights and cruises. Almost all of them involve extremely niche audiences. It seems Mary is the #1 agent when it comes to booking spiritual vacations aboard ghost ships and specific hotel rooms that are said to be haunted. She also has a dedicated section for more traditional modern cruises that cater to specific groups such as fans of boy bands. In the diary entries, she talks about the trips she's personally taken and uses that as an opportunity to feature descriptions of amenities and excursions that the ships offer, even when you're on them to see a specific band or a ghost. There's also pictures of ships, hotels, landmarks, and places she's visited, as well as a picture of Mary herself with a ship in the background. One of her diary entries actually mentions the day that the photos were taken. She was allowed onto the ship on a port day in San Diego with a professional photographer she knows. The photo of Mary has been added to your evidence. Check it out then. Mary Webb from her website, Webb on the Web, paranormal travel agency. She apparently found a niche booking vacations for lovers of the strange and unknown. This is a photograph of Mary in front of an alleged ghost ship from the 1800s. It was lost at sea and turned up without any crew several years later. Nobody knows exactly what happened, but fans love to tour it and come up with their own paranormal theories. That sounds like an Obra Dinn reference to me right there. If you like this game and you somehow not played The Return of the Obra Dinn, you should do this immediately because it's an amazing game and you'll probably really enjoy it. I won't be having it on the channel because I've played it and I know everything about it, and it's the kind of game that once you know, you know. So don't look up any spoilers, just play it and enjoy investigating sort of thing. And I mean, it's mentioned in this game that it's inspired by Obra Dinn, so I'm not surprised they added a little reference. A company called Corporate Composition Photography is listed at the top. Okay, well, we're gonna highlight this because, again, I have learned my lesson that even the unimportant details are somehow important at some point. Okay, so we have... Okay, but he had 2 kids. The only thing we know is that she's one of them, but she doesn't mention being married or not, or having kids. But that just might be because it's her professional website, so she's not gonna start writing about having kids. But, well, let's see what this corporate composition photography is, if they seem fit to mention it. The photography studio was lifted to 3 different sites for businesses in San Diego. You can hire them to take professional quality photos for businesses of all sorts. As far as you can tell, it appears to no longer exist. The companies also mentioned a photography site with some IRC chat logs. Oh my god, IRC. It's been a while since I've seen that mentioned. It seems like the site is the personal page of a member of the IRC photography channel. They have archives of logs they've been saving since 1993. One of them was from 1986 when Val, the former head photographer from Corporate Composition Photography, did a Q&A with their users about taking pictures for promotional materials and print ads. Most of the questions and answers were pretty technical. They not only seem irrelevant, but generally go over your head. One of the questions, however, mentions that Val was on the cover of Telephoto and asked about Iraq. More magazines for us, maybe? The question was quickly shut down by the person running the Q&A and said Val does not wish to answer any questions from his photojournalism days, nor does he wish to talk about LBP. Please keep this on subject of commercial photography, okay? telephoto. Okay, it's a magazine we've added. And when searching for LVP, you get a wide variety of results. Luxury bridal photography. Or Lincoln baby photography. Not Laura's bras and panties, I assume. Okay, well, let's see where this takes us. It's a photography business. Unfortunately, it's located in Ireland, and its owner's name Nicholas. Okay, so not that one. Okay, Lincoln baby photography, we get printing. It mentions a Val and an award-winning photographer on the page. It's a business in Beacon, New York, and on the side it has a picture of a baby and a camera captioned with Cam Lincoln reaching for his namesake. I guess he takes after his father, Val. At the bottom of the website says copyright 98.99. Picture added to evidence. Okay, so it's somehow this Val is in the family. I guess, yeah, she said the picture on the ship was for from a photographer she knew, so it might be her husband or like a brother-in-law maybe, because yeah, the baby's his, so he would fit here. But I guess let's find out more. We can look him up in this magazine about... Wow, we have so many magazines now. There we go. The cover, which features one of his photos, portion of the article have been added to your evidence. Okay. Okay, but that... Clementine. Okay. So yeah, it's a magazine with photos of Val Lincoln, photographer who went overseas during Desert Storm. He won a Sepia Award for photojournalist, specifically for the photo on the cover. Val got his start in high school when he took a photography class. He got lucky when a photographer mentor of his, who was going overseas to cover the war, decided to take a chance on him. Most people wouldn't call it lucky to go on an active war zone for no pay, but he bought my plane tickets, all my meals, and even pulled some strings so we could rush my passport. For someone that had never had a real job or even left California, it was a hell of a break. Val was only 19 at the time and shot the photo that won him an award the third night he was there. Okay. The photo depicts Lisa Clementine, who lost an arm in Operation Desert Saber. According to the article, women were not subject to direct combat, and Lisa was in a vehicle at the time. The vehicle had to pull over suddenly when the road ahead was partially destroyed, and she and a fellow soldier were severely injured by a landmine. Val says, I ran into Lisa just after her surgery and took this picture. Then until she shipped out, I kept finding excuses to go back and take more pictures of her. I guess it was fate, because that's the photo that won me an award, got me into your magazine, and also led to my engagement. Just earlier this week, she agreed to become Mrs. Lincoln. Okay, so Lisa is the one here. She's the one that got married, and she's got a child. And she's Clementine on her uniform because they would take the legal name, despite the fact that they would go by Webb just to hide from their father. Well, so she was a soldier, but obviously she was injured, so can't be doing that job, but we'll see. And this is Val Lincoln. And this is the baby, Cam. Occupation, baby. And this is their form, Mary, with her spooky ghost tours. Clementine as well. She's a travel agent. And we forgot to click her picture because we were too focused on Obra Dinn. Okay, so that gives us 3. Oh my, we have to narrow down on this situation then. So I have lots of the family members still pinned on the pages from the reminders, and yeah, the reminders and the 6 pieces and the family man and notable events are still worth investigation points. The telephoto is just because we don't have them confirmed, so that will be later. Which means, yes, somewhere in the information I either highlighted or that's still there and I even mishighlighting it is the clue we're looking for. So I shall now proceed into putting every single one of their names and associated things into the search engine and every periodical and see where I get to. I'm not gonna make you watch that, so I'll just bring you back when I've actually found something.